Hey folks, this is just a quick little video to give you some instruction on the Wednesday research task. Many of you did well. Um, However, some of you didn't write quite enough, or maybe didn't cite enough. Anyway, I just want to review the instructions. This happens to be this Wednesday's research task. The question for this week is explain at least two reasons conspiracy theorists believe the moon landing was faked. And there's more than that. But make sure that you read the instructions here. Number one, you this time around you want your answers to be at least 100 words in length. Last week it was 75, but I didn't feel like 75 was really sufficient. So shoot for at least 100 words. It's just a little bit more. Of course, you want to use proper grammar and spelling. You want to practice sophisticated word choice and sentence variety. You don't want to copy straight from the internet. I don't think I had anybody do that. But here's the two that really trip people up. Number one, cite your info in the text, either parenthetically or by mentioning the source. And then finally, include an MLA citation of any sources after your answer. Now, here was one student's work from last week's question about Kennedy wanting to send a man to the moon. Well, here was their answer. That's just a full answer there. That works. It's definitely at least 100 words. 119. But they cited where it came from. Now you can do that in a couple ways. You can just mention the source in a sentence, like for example, according to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, or you could cite it parenthetically. Like if they did not say this in the paragraph, they could have just cited it at the end, and I can tell what to cite based on what their citation down here. There's no author for that, but it would probably, so you just go with the article title. Right. Okay, so make sure that you've got some correct citation. Either you put the source, you name the source in the sentence, or you do it parenthetically. If there's an author, put their last name. If there's no author, put the page heading. Also, make sure you have a works cited entry at the end. Now, a couple things here. Again, if there's an author, that goes first. Last name first, first name last. Then the page heading. There's always a page heading. Then the website in italics. The name of the website should be in italics. Now, if there is a date publication, you list that here. I'm just going to throw something out randomly. Again, here's how dates are listed MLA style. The day of the month goes first, then the month abbreviated, then the year. If there's no date of publication, apparently for this website there wasn't, don't worry about it. Okay, you need at least one date or the other, either the date of publication or the date of access. And for the date of access, you actually have to write the word accessed in front of it. Make sure to copy and paste your whole URL. A lot of people had issues with the hanging indent. Make sure to do a hanging indent here. Again, generally you press Enter Tab to do that. Now, if I do it, she's already entered and tabbed it, so I just have to tab it to do it. But the first line goes against the margin, and any other line does not go against the margin. That's generally how it works. Now, typically for MLA writing, you should double space it, but I'm not going to worry about that. But again, if you go to week one, there are attached resources on how to do an MLA works cited entry and how to do parenthetical citation for MLA, and just search the web. There's tons of instructions on the web for how to do this. She wrote a nice answer here. Kennedy created an ambitious goal, send a man to the moon. According to the website, his reasonings for doing so was to simply to beat the Soviets. And again, it all had to do with the space race and establishing technological and the superiority, I guess. Going to give you an edge in the Cold War. Russia had already sent a man to space, so can you believe that the U.S. needed to take things to a new level? It turns out that the U.S. was about send a guy into space a month afterwards. But the Russians had Yuri Gagarin, I think that's his name, actually orbit the Earth, and Alex Shepard just went into space and came back. Didn't actually orbit. So we were behind, and this was kind of this bold plan to put us ahead. Kennedy presented his ideas before a joint meeting of Congress, and the plan was put into action, and it paid off, and then they actually got the guy to the moon on July 20th, 1969. So it's just a nice full answer. And there you have it. Good luck on your research task this week. Don't hesitate to email me if you have questions.